welcome to Mondays with Marlo. I'm very excited about today's show because I don't think there's anything more frustrating for a parent than to be told that their child has a learning disability. Because then what? You know, and there's some prejudice around it. There's some distaste around it. Oh, your kid is stupid. Well, you know, Albert Einstein was dyslexic. So your child isn't stupid, they just learn differently. And I think what we really want to talk about today, and I can see from all of your questions, you want some guidance. What do you do once you get that diagnosis? And how do you help your child learn successfully? So I'm excited to have two fabulous women here, Dr. Lydia Soifer, and are you a doctor as well?
No.
Ms. Lynn Rubin. And you do the diagnosing, and you do the diagnosing.
I do the diagnosing.
And you do the teaching and training of the teachers in other schools and so forth.
No, I actually do the teaching of the children, and I work with their parents. And Lydia does training, you know, she does testing, and then she also advocates for parents.
One of the things about testing that I've heard from parents is that who makes up these tests and how good are these tests, and is it a standard? Is every school using the same kind of test? Some of the questions in here today are they don't trust the test their child had, and they're afraid of it. Now that can be also denial, so you don't really know, you know, what part's denial and what part is accurate. So do you have any first thoughts about the testing?
I do indeed, Marlo. I think that the notion of the tests is something that's easily clarified. These tests that are used to identify a child's intellectual potential, his or her reading, writing, spelling ability, his or her memory, and very crucially, language skills are all nationally standardized over and over and over again. The issue isn't the test. The issue is in whose hands is that test information and how is it being interpreted? That's what parents have to think about. They don't have to worry about the test. It's how the test is used that they want to know to ask questions about.
And are all these teachers or all the people who give these tests, are they qualified to interpret it?
They are. There are different levels of qualification. Teachers are typically not. So as someone who trains physicians, who trains psychologists, who trains language therapists, who trains teachers, we help them know how to interpret those tests for different purposes at different ages, because the children can be assessed very, very early on and have life-saving interventions for them. Teach them to read, teach them to talk, teach them to be a part of the larger society and feel good.
Right. And so there must be a lot of you, right? I mean, you know, you can't teach every kid in America, so is there like a whole union of you people?
Well, hopefully. You know, we're trained in teaching kids with learning disabilities, and we're also trained to read those reports and be able to interpret them and put them into an educational plan. And that's what I do. I refer parents, and I read many psychoeducational evaluations.
I mean, educational plan is the whole ball game. If you don't have a strategy for each child, they're going to be unsuccessful and feel like a failure their whole lives.
I think the notion of educational planning, again, because language is my skill and my fascination, the terminology is really important. Who is responsible for that educational plan? Well, under federal law, school districts are responsible for educational plans. But in reality, the parent has to be well informed, has to be knowledgeable about his or her own child and what opportunities there are so that the parent is in charge of an educational plan for the child as well.
But I would think that's kind of daunting for any parent.
But they have
That's
the
why we're
right
out
to
there.
be equal partners in their children's IEPs, which are individualized educational programs with the school district, and they need to be involved.
Our passion is to train the parents and their teachers so that the parents can advocate for their children and the teachers know what to do with them. Those kids spend 6 hours a day, 180 school days for 13 years in school. That's their job, and if you're doing poorly at your job, you feel really bad about yourself as a boy or as a girl.
Right.